My favorite team, the Green Bay Packers, went up against the Giants, who were starting one of my favorite NFL QB personalities in Jameis Winston. Because how could anyone hate on him? Yet again though, we had another game that was too close for comfort. And I'm not sure how confident I am in this Packers offense right now. But thankfully, Jordan Love came up big at the end, as did Christian Watson. Love did get hurt in the first half, but Malik Willis came in and actually threw a quick touchdown pass. Christian Watson had 2 massive touchdown catches in this game, and I'm pretty sure both were actually his first of the season, and they couldn't have come at a better time. Mike Parsons had 1.5 sacks for the Packers defense. Jameis Winston actually played a really solid game for the most part, I think. And of course, it's always going to be pure entertainment when it comes to all of his celebrations, as well as any of his pre-game speeches. But he played a mostly clean game up until the final throw, of course, which was in fact an ugly pick. But he did help keep the Giants in the game for most of the game. Anyways, my Packers got a much needed win to stay in that division race. The Panthers and Falcons were in a crazy game as Bryce Young went off. Whenever he versus the Atlanta Falcons, he just turns into Thanos. He went for 448 yards and had 3 touchdown passes, 2 to McMillan and 1 to Leggett. On the other side of the ball, Penix was actually having one of his best games of the season up until a knee injury, which is likely going to be season ending. Now I know that everyone on Twitter loves to hate on Kirk Cousins for some reason, but I thought the last drive he had to tie up the game, he looked really good, I think. However, it still looks to me like Raheem Morris doesn't trust him fully, or maybe he's still working through some things with himself. I personally think he's still got it. He's just build up his confidence back. Well, now he's gonna have the chance to do that with Penix out, so I'm hoping he comes through. Bijan Robinson also had a big day on the ground, but the Panthers won 30-27 in overtime. Next, one of the best back and forth games I've ever seen, we saw the Bills beat the Buccaneers in a game that had 9 lead changes. Josh Allen, who threw 2 first half picks, actually had 6 total touchdowns in the game. He had 3 passing and 3 rushing. On the other side of the ball, Sean Tucker had 3 total touchdowns for the Bucs, and Baker had some big plays both through the air and on the ground, but it was the reigning MVP Josh Allen who had the final say in this one. Next, we'll be the game that made me upset yet again. I don't know why I do this to myself, but I just love picking underdog teams who have an underdog player, and somehow these teams find a way to disappoint me over and over. So the Bengals lost again this week to the Steelers, and in part 2 of the unction, it started off the same way as the last one. Flacco had a big touchdown pass to T. Higgins, and Rodgers had a touchdown pass to Gainwell. But Aaron Rodgers unfortunately got hurt in this game towards the end of the first half, and he didn't come out for the second half. I'm hearing he may have a fractured wrist, but hopefully he's able to keep playing. Anyways, Mason Rudolph came in the second half, and became the latest quarterback to dominate the Bengals defense. I will say for most of the game though, the defense was slightly better, but of course it did revert to its mean. However, the offense just felt a little bit out of rhythm this